I don't know why we decided Mr. Dennis to move off of Alpine Street. I think that's... Okay, this is Article 9, Grant of Easements, Thompson School. See if the town will vote to grant permanent easements or other interests in certain land surrounding the Thompson School for the purpose of placing utility poles or take any action related thereto. Mr. Chapdelaine.
So this request was started, or was initiated by Verizon, and their need to locate utility poles for getting power to the Thompson School. I'll let Town Council elaborate. It was unclear to us, through the research Town Council has performed, why an easement was necessary, but Verizon is requesting it for the legal placing of the poles to be able to supply power. So we've advanced the warrant article, and I don't know if you want to... the Town Council has anything further.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I apologize for paying attention to my phone. We're trying to handle the ARB meeting at the same time. I think Mr. Chapdelaine has explained. My understanding is that there were 3 utility poles that existed on or abutting the sidewalk, and with the new redesign of the Thompson School with head-in parking, they've been moved back to the non-sidewalk portion of the town land. I don't know if the Verizon representative is here. I guess she is, to explain the basis for the request.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Elizabeth Kelly. I'm at Precision Valley Communications, an authorized agent for Verizon. And yes, we have requested an easement, permanent easement to be signed for the location of the poles. And I'm in receipt of a letter of consent from the Arlington Public Schools that they are aware and approve of our submission to the article for the easement to be brought to the annual town meeting.
Mr. Dunn.
So, Town Council passed out a memo for us in our packet, and she said that I gathered from the memo that ordinarily this would be done through something called a grant of location as opposed to an easement. Can you explain to me why this one would be an easement as opposed to...
No, grant of location is something that is done when we are asking for our facilities to be placed within a public way. Thompson School is owned by the town, and we consider that a private property owned by the town or owned by a town board, so therefore it wouldn't fall under the jurisdiction of Mass General Law 166, Chapter 22, which covers the grant of location, which technically is utilities have the right to be in the public way, and the town boards are basically acting as agents or representatives of the state, just so that we can work with the town on the locations. But the actual grant of location is a license, and it's not permanent, and the placement of our facilities, we look for the most permanent right we can get. So anytime we're on a private property parcel, we request an easement, and that would be both companies, both NSTAR and Verizon. And in this case, it's a jointly owned poles and a joint easement in the names of both companies.
May I have... Sure. Ms. Rice?
Yes.
Are your questions that you posed in the memo satisfied, or?
I really still don't see the need for a permanent easement, because the grant of location is a word for giving permission, and the board gives permission for the placement of utilities on its property frequently.
Do you think we should say yes or no?
If I get the question as to why it's required by town meeting, I'm still not going to be able to answer the question. So I mean, the board can certainly do what it chooses. If the board were to recommend this and town meeting were to authorize it, were to come back to the board to grant the easement, it's certainly within the board's power to do that. But as Ms. Kelly points out, it's a permanent easement that will outlast the Thompson School. And I get asked, a lot of times about undoing easements that have been granted in the past, and they're difficult to undo. They have to go back to town meeting.
But we happen to have a moderator, Mr. Leone. Are you talking about this? No, do you have a feeling on this? Do you understand what we're discussing now, John? So, yeah, but us going back to town meeting if we have to take it back, all right, yep, thank you, John, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, I just, Mr. Curo.
Yes, it sounds like, you know, the issue isn't just the permanence, it's also expeditiousness. We could much more expeditiously issue a grant of location. Is that not true?
That's correct, and my understanding is
We
that's
won't
already-
accept a grant of location because that's not our procedures over many, many years, and neither company will set the poles on private property without a permanent right.
I'm just
So it
losing.
will delay the project, and I just want to add that, and it's certainly the purview of the board to make a recommendation, but I'm currently going for applying for a license to another town, the town of Lincoln, for a project of an expansion of a town building, very same situation. We had to relocate, and the problem is, see, our facilities, as regulated companies, our facilities we would have to pass on costs to relocate if we don't have the most permanent rights. When we have permanent rights, in the future, we are taking action to be responsible about protecting our assets, that we don't have to come back and then turn around and charge ratepayers for a change of use of a property. So once we're there, then the secondary thing is certainly the use of the property can change, but when that owner comes, secondary owner, next owner, comes then and wants something moved, we don't have to go out and automatically relocate at somebody's discretion and turn those costs over to ratepayers.
So other poles in Arlington, those are all permanent easements?
If they're on private property, they should be. I can't say that they are exactly, but
I've always heard temporary easement, and we have other
I wonder whether our town council
investigate.
should speak with their council on this further, or, I mean, I understand what you're saying, that they won't do it, and I don't want to delay the project by any stretch, so where are we here?
I mean, I'm very confused as to why this is considered private property. I mean, it's public property, correct? It's school property, it's public property.
the deed is not in the name of the town. It's in the name of the school board, the school committee.
Which is public, which is a public board.
No, it's,
why don't we investigate?
I'm a former school committee member, man. It's a public board, and it's public
well, I
land.
understand it's a public board, but it's not considered public property. It's not for the use of everybody,
All right, well, why don't we?
like a street is.
Thank you. This is the first I'm hearing of this. Normally, and we have one that was voted at the last meeting and tonight, it's a temporary easement. So why don't we do as the chairman suggested, have Ms. Rice contact, I'm blanking on your name, and/or council, to see if we can do what we've done in the past with municipal property, school, town, public, and if the temporary easement allows you to continue on. And then you can rectify that within the next 2 weeks. Does that sound appropriate, Ms. Rice?
That's fine, I'm happy to do that. It is my understanding that the poles have been placed pursuant to a grant of location.
They already have been placed?
My understanding is they were placed last week.
That's not a grant of location in the way we look at it. It's a license. But a grant of location is a special, the grant of locations is a license that is granted just for use on public way,
Okay, so we'll investigate it.
not on private property.
They're already there.
It's the permanence of it, for us, you can understand. We're rebuilding that school. Some point in the future, they're probably gonna have to do that again, and who knows, you know, there was talk about repositioning it completely on the field this year, so I'd feel better if we asked town council to come back to us. I'm not opposed to it, but I hear that you need it, so, and we have time before town meeting to be able to discuss this and take a vote before town meeting.
So move to table to March 18th?
Second.
Is that okay, March 18th, is that all right with you? Sure.
It should be just a quick thing, that's the only reason. I know we have a full agenda on the 18th.
Maybe you don't even have to be here for that, if it's been answered to your satisfaction with our town council, Ms. Keller, okay?
That's fine, thank you.
Okay,
Should
thank
I be asking to table this without prejudice or anything like that?
Yeah, we're not prejudiced. No, so yes, it is, yeah, I mean, we want to do it for you, we just want to, we want to do it to protect the town,
Okay,
as you
that's fine.
understand, you know, so.
Could I also note something? I realize you came in on this warrant article. You might want to stay for a couple of minutes, because there is one, we are hearing another warrant article regarding utility poles, and you may be helpful to the conversation.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so on the motion to table by Ms. Mahan, seconded by Mr. Byrne, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed.